Okay.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy, and today I'm going to be reacting to the top 10 worst referee calls in NFL history. Let's get this thing started.
From a missed pass interference that changed the Super Bowl.
It was the most egregious missed call in the history of football.
Call the police. We got robbed. Did you see that?
To a catch everyone saw, well, except for the people in charge.
I thought he was over the goal line. Why that's not a catch?
One of the worst calls right there.
Rewrote NFL
Absolutely.
history.
I'll go to my grave thinking it was a fumble.
And an official who used an index card to decide a first down.
Never seen error like that somehow turn into a first down.
NFL refs have shaped careers, crushed dreams, and sparked chaos, all with the sound of a single whistle. These are the 10 worst referee calls in NFL history.
10
starting
worst.
with the 2018 NFC Championship game between the Saints and the Rams.
Oh,
The
this
Saints
got to
were
be
one
higher
down
than
away
10,
from
right?
the Super Bowl. One more play, and Drew Brees
was
finally get his shot at ring number 2.
outrageous.
70,000 fans on their feet, every one of them feeling the same thing.
How
This
do
was
you
it. Drew Brees
not
dropped back.
how do you not throw this
Tommy Lee Lewis
flag?
breaking down the sideline. The throw was on time until Rams corner Nickel Roby-Coleman came flying in like a missile. Helmet first before the ball even arrived.
Unbelievable no call.
That could have and maybe should have been pass interference, and if so,
do you
it's
miss
effectively
that?
game over.
The crowd waited for flags that
Bro.
never came. Everyone in the building, players, coaches, fans, even the TV broadcasters knew what
honestly,
they had just seen.
He just simply cannot
Like,
believe it.
whatever
nor can
referees
anyone that's in the
did that
stadium
job for that
watching
game
this.
needs to be
Even
fired.
Roby-Coleman admitted,
Plain and simple.
yes, I got there too early. I was beat, and I was trying to save the touchdown. Sean Payton was furious, and for good reason.
I would have
It
took
was
the fine.
simple.
I
They
would
blew
have
the call, he
blasted
said.
the refs.
They said it should never have not been a call. They said not only was it interference, it was helmet to helmet. There
He
were
was
two
there
calls.
so
They just couldn't
early,
believe
guys.
it. The Saints kicked a field goal instead of icing the game, giving the Rams
It
one more
takes
shot.
all
and
the
LA
momentum
took it.
away
Jared
from the
Goff
game.
marched
And
him
all
down
the
the field to
momentum
tie it.
away.
And in overtime, after a Breeze interception,
Like, I
Greg
hate that,
Zuerlein
guys.
nailed a 57-yarder to send the Rams to the Super Bowl. This was supposed to be the Saints' redemption arc, 1 year after the Minneapolis Miracle. Instead, they got a nightmare.
I can't say what I want to say, but Lord
Say it.
Jesus, they took it away from us.
Payton later revealed that even the league office privately admitted fault. We spoke initially, then I called to follow up. And the first thing Al Riverin said when I got on the phone was, we messed it up. But that didn't change anything.
thanks.
The Rams advanced to face the Patriots, and the Saints went home. And the Super Bowl that followed was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in NFL
Lovely,
history.
and then you get a shitty Super Bowl on top of
13-3
it.
snooze fest that robbed fans of the Breeze versus Brady showdown we all deserved. All
Right.
because of one call.
Look at that.
One call that was so bad
The
that
referee's
fans
right
filed
there.
lawsuits demanding the game be
How do
replayed.
you not call
it got
that?
so bad, the league changed the rule book. For the first time ever, teams could challenge pass interference
Wow.
calls.
They
It
only did that
lasted
1 year.
season because it was
Yeah.
a total mess that nobody liked, but it showed how massive that
Which
moment
never worked,
was.
by
And
the
for the
way.
Saints, this was the last real shot for them as Drew Brees neared the age of 40. And he never got that coveted ring he'd been chasing for so long.
Guys, like, look, man, like, I don't often complain about the refs. Like, I'll mention them here and there, you know, that they blew some calls, but usually it goes back and forth. But my God, like, when you miss a call like that in the playoffs, and it's so blatant, it's right in front of you, bro. Like, somebody has to be held accountable. Like, and this is where I keep saying that the NFL, billion-dollar business, right? They have to do a lot better than what's going on here. And two, you got all these cameras in the sky. You got all these different people looking at it with all these different angles. You can have somebody up above chime down and change that and reverse that. Nobody's going to be mad about that call being a reverse or a flag being thrown there. Very obvious call there. And I hate that the refs have to play a part in sports like this. It just sucks. It really, really does. And this is a time where they absolutely cost the team an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. It's disgusting.
It's very, very obvious, and yet, man, for that to be missed in that situation is painful. It's very painful.
Fast forward to the 2025 AFC Championship,
Get him,
and there's
Josh.
another star quarterback looking for a ring, but he couldn't overcome the stripes and the NFL's golden boy. the Bills versus the Chiefs.
The
By
Golden
now,
Boy.
Patrick Mahomes was already 3-0 against Josh Allen in the postseason. But this time, Buffalo was just inches away from flipping the script.
Okay.
Late in the game, clinging to a 1-point lead, 4th and inches. The kind of moment made for Josh Allen. The snap hits, Allen lowers his shoulder, the pile crashes forward. But then the refs spot the ball and somehow mark him short.
I think he got it.
This is crazy, by the way. There's a couple things on this that
he's stepping in the near
are wild.
They're both moving it back. They had it easily over. They brought it back quite a bit.
And then it was way off.
The rules analyst in the booth said, I felt like he gained it by a third of the football, calling it a tough call. Replay took over, but the angles were a mess. And when the refs came back, they said something no Bills fan could believe. The call stands, Chiefs ball.
After review, the ruling in the field stands as called. It'll be first down, Kansas City.
The look we had in the stadium, I thought he had it. Bills head coach Sean McDermott said after the game, just short of the line was actually the first down. What it looked like to me when it was sitting next to me with the marker, just inside that white stripe, was the first down. It looked like he got to it. Moments later, Mahomes made Buffalo pay, leading the touchdown drive and converting a 2-point attempt to take the lead. For the Bills, it was deja vu. Another playoff game against Kansas City, another heartbreak. But this time, not decided not by a turnover or a missed throw, but by a referee's spot.
It's a big call. Yeah, it's absolutely a big call.
For Josh Allen, this game marked 4 straight playoff losses to the same quarterback.
Yeah, you can either get it done or you can't, and we didn't get it done.
And for all the talent he has, this call marks the reason he remains in the shadow of Patrick Mahomes. But another superstar.
Okay, first of all, if you go back to that moment, that sequence, I believe it was Kincaid on that play right prior before Josh Allen in the tush push. Kincaid actually got the first down. Go back and watch it. He clearly got the first down. The referees blew that call, and Buffalo, my team, right, rushed to the line to do the tush push instead of waiting for at least a few more seconds and then challenging the Dalton Kincaid catch and first down because he got the first down. That play would have never even happened, the tush push, if they would have challenged it or if the refs would have actually done their job to begin with. And then the tush push, he did get the first down. The momentum, the initial push showed him going over. Like, I know it was close, but he was over the line. So the referees absolutely blew that call, and they blew the Dalton Kincaid call the play before. So you can't miss those type of calls in an important game like this. I mean, you really shouldn't miss them at all in any game, but especially in the playoffs. You got to get these things right. And then you go to the replay. Then you have replay. You go to the booth, and you still call it in the Chiefs' favor. Like, that's outrageous. Even if I'm not a Bills fan, you got to be realistic here. Just like when I'll be going through the rest of this video, as an outsider, as a fan, just a fan of football, you got, listen, I don't even care if it's against my team. What's right is right. And these refs are just blowing it, man. And they have been for the longest time. And I don't know how they don't get these things right year after year with all the technology.
His legacy was shaken by something so simple, yet so crazy that it's insane how much it changed everything. Lambeau Field, January 11th, 2015. The frozen tundra and two 12-4 juggernauts, the Cowboys and the Packers, colliding for a shot at the NFC title. Dallas had clawed back to relevance that year. Romo was playing the best football of his career. DeMarco Murray was the league's rushing champ, and Dez Bryant was a walk-in highlight reel, built for moments exactly like this.
He was a beast.
Less than 5 minutes left.
All right, I remember this. Romo
takes the snap and launches a high-arcing spiral through the freezing Wisconsin air. Dez elevates, catches it clean, takes 2 steps, and lunges for the end zone as he crashes to the turf. The ball pops loose for a split second, but Dez pins it to his chest. The refs watch the replay, analyzing what looked like an obvious catch.
He made a football play,
back out to center field.
Dove, then the ball came loose, but he's still in the end zone.
Did not maintain possession of the football.
After the game, Dez said it best.
Man,
all I know is I had possession of the ball coming down. That's possession, right?
That's crazy,
1,
guys.
2, reach, Bam,
Absolutely.
that's possession.
Anyone with half a brain and eyes that can see could see this
One,
was
two,
a catch.
That's
But
a catch.
under a rule that almost nobody understood, it wasn't.
I thought he was over the goal line. Why that's
Yeah,
not
that's-
a trick?
The Cowboys
terrible.
turned it over on downs. Green
Terrible.
Bay ran out the clock, and Dallas's season ended.
What a way to
right there.
lose by some
This was the
bullshit
crime of the
referee.
century.
Fans flooded social media with one phrase, hashtag Dez caught it. And years later,
Yeah.
the league finally admitted the truth. Dez
Oh,
did catch
years
it.
later.
They even
Thanks.
changed the rule entirely. But by then, the damage was done.
And then they
Cowboys'
changed the rule.
window had
Oh,
closed,
good Lord.
and Dez's prime faded. And one of the greatest plays of his career
They still
became
can't get it right,
eternal
by the way.
what
They
if.
still can't
All
get it
because
right.
of some strange rule. One
What's a
almost as
catch?
bizarre
What's
as
not
the
a
tuck
catch?
rule. Everyone knows the refs.
All right, another
love Tom
bullshit
Brady.
call
And
here.
few moments show
This
that
tuck
better
rule
than
bullshit,
January
by the way.
2002. The Raiders and
I don't
Patriots
like it.
are locked in a 13-10 slugfest late in the fourth quarter. Tom Brady drops back, then
It's a
boom,
fumble.
Charles Woodson, his old college
He
teammate,
chose not to throw
blindsides
it.
The ball hits the snow. The Raiders
He got
recover
hit,
it.
and the
Game
ball
over.
came loose.
Well,
I don't give a
not
shit. He
quite.
put the ball
They're
down
going to under 2
because
minutes
he chose not to
review
throw it, and then he
whether or
got
not
hit. And
Brady's arm was in motion.
This was clearly a
It's
fumble.
just
Brady
wild
had
to me.
Pulled the ball back toward his body. He wasn't throwing it, but thanks to an
Correct.
obscure rule
Correct.
called the tuck rule,
It's
the
a
refs
crazy-
determined it
it's a
wasn't a
bullshit
fumble
rule.
because Brady's arm was still moving forward.
The quarterback's arm was
he's not going to throw it when he's at his stomach.
The Patriots kept the ball.
Come on,
Minutes
man.
later, Adam Vinatieri somehow drills a 45-yard field goal through a blizzard to tie it. Then
What a
wins
way
it
to
in
lose
overtime.
on some
That
bullshit
one
rule.
obscure call didn't just save a game. It launched the greatest dynasty the NFL has
Yeah.
ever seen. The Raiders thought it was robbery.
Some bullshit. You know, that's exactly how I feel. I feel it was a bullshit
I don't
call.
blame him.
It should have been overturned.
Head
Good for
coach
him.
John Gruden would
Get
later
your fine.
admit,
Fuck
still
them.
makes me sick when I think of the Patriots. I can't help but fall to my knees when I think of the tuck rule.
I'll go to my grave thinking it was a fumble. And I believe the pictures
It
speak
was.
volumes in terms of what the play was truly about.
Raiders owner Al Davis was livid. He thought the league had it out for him.
I know that the head of officials is still out there trying to spin it, that we had a tuck rule and that was really not a fumble. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Tensions boiled over, and head coach Gruden was traded to Tampa Bay, where 1 year later he beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl. The NFL abolished the tuck rule in 2013, but it was far too late.
If a quarterback is holding the ball like this in both hands, and the defender then strips him, does this new
That's a
rule
fumble.
make that a fumble?
Yeah, it's always that's a fumble.
It's always been a fumble. Thank you.
Because that snowy night in
Always
Foxborough
been a
didn't just
fumble.
rewrite
What the
the rule
fuck,
book,
dude?
It rewrote history. It marked the end of the Raiders dynasty and the start of the Tom Brady era.
I heard you admit
Yes.
that you were bringing the ball back to your body
The intent
Absolutely, he
with the
was.
intent
Yes.
because the ball was coming back.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Which means it was a fumble.
And 10 years later, the NFL would find
Brady
itself in
knows.
another firestorm.
That's
This
bullshit.
time under the bright lights of Monday Night Football. Packers versus Seahawks.
No,
Aaron
I remember
Rodgers,
this.
A rookie Russell Wilson. A
Y'all remember
primetime
this?
classic that turned into absolute chaos. You see,
Backup refs.
This was the height of the replacement referee.
The
era.
replacement
The
ref,
NFL
yep.
was in a standoff with its regular officials, so they brought in guys from small colleges and even high schools to fill in.
This
And
is
on the final
wild.
play, Seattle trailed 12-7. Russell Wilson rolls out and launches a desperate Hail Mary into a crowd in the end zone. Packers safety MD Jennings leaps, grabs it clean, and lands with the ball pressed to his chest.
That's an interception
Seahawks
right there.
receiver Golden Tate dives
Right
in late,
there.
wrestling for it, and suddenly two refs rush in. One waves it incomplete.
He had
The other
possession.
signals touchdown.
He was already down. It's an interception.
After a
That's
long
crazy.
review, somehow the ruling stands. Touchdown Seattle. Game
Wow.
over, 14-12.
Call on the field
Wow.
stands. Touchdown. Game is over.
Seahawks
Like-
win in the most bizarre
I
finish
mean,
you'll ever see.
it's crazy.
Well, I
walking
don't know what
this
review
stuff,
they
guys.
were
How-
watching.
how-
because
what are
one,
you watching?
Tate shoved corner Sam Shields
all
in the
these-
back before the
on
catch.
this
Clear
video, it's
offensive
crazy
pass
how-
interference. And two, Jennings
These
has
missed
full
calls.
control of the ball. The call
And
made
you
no
have
sense.
replay here, and you still get it wrong.
officials. All right, so we'll just cut to the chase right there.
And when the dust
Dude,
settled,
pissed. I
Hail
don't blame him.
Mary was born. Aaron Rodgers called it a disgrace.
The fact that it was reviewed is awful. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Packers lineman TJ Lang's tweet, "Find me and use the money to pay the regular refs," became the most
There you
retweeted
go.
post in Twitter history at the time.
Not that
Even
the regular
President
refs are doing a
Obama
much
called
better
the call
job.
Terrible. And behind the scenes, the NFL was drowning in 70,000 angry voicemails. Vegas
yeah.
estimated over $300 million in bets flipped on that one play.
Wow.
And just 2 days later, the NFL caved and the referee lockout was over.
We're sorry to have to bring our fans through that. We're sorry to bring the general public through that.
But while the Fail Mary had shown how one bad call can change a season, this next call changed a legacy. Because in 1999, the Packers once again found themselves on the wrong side of a terrible call. They were matched up against Steve Young and the Niners in the playoffs.
I don't know if I recall
again,
this.
Their fourth meeting in 5 years. And after 3 straight postseason losses to Green Bay, San Francisco was desperate to flip the script. But late in the fourth quarter, they trailed 27-23. Steve Young dropped back, firing across the middle to Jerry Rice, the most reliable hands in football. But as Rice turned upfield, Packers linebacker Bernardo Harris and safety Scott McGarrahan punched the ball out. It hits the turf. Green Bay falls on it. Game over. Or so everyone thought.
Packers are saying he fumbled.
Let's take a look.
But the referees don't say so.
However, the refs, they ruled Rice down.
Yeah, there is a question whether he was down.
It's a fumble. The ball. I mean, it's coming out way before his knee hits.
Knee doesn't touch before.
Oh, man, my God.
That was a fumble.
How do you not call that a fumble?
There was no instant replay at the time.
Oh, no replay.
Years earlier. So even though the broadcast replay showed the ball clearly out before Rice hit the ground, the call stood.
Brutal.
That was clearly a fumble. Packers general manager Ron Wolf fumed in the hush locker room after the game.
At first, I wasn't sure. I'm not going to lie.
Game's over. It's tough to lose no matter how you do
I'm also not
on
the field with these guys. Should see that.
Game and it's not awarded.
They have different angles. I mean, where they're at in the field, they should see that.
It's something that has to be addressed.
Oh, and then you have to
Butler
get replay, obviously, after that.
When asked if they were robbed, he said, absolutely. Moments later, Steve Young stumbled on a dropback, regained his balance, and rifled one down the middle, where Terrell Owens, surrounded by defenders, makes the catch of his life.
What a way to lose, man.
Touchdown, 49ers. Man. That missed fumble forced the NFL to finally bring back instant replay the very next season.
But let's tell the truth here. If it were not for a blown call by the officials on the Jerry Rice fumble, Steve Young would have never had the opportunity.
Coaches got their red challenge flags, and the game would never be officiated the same again. Of course, a challenge doesn't help if the refs simply pick up the flag, giving you nothing to challenge, which is exactly what happened in the NFC wildcard game between the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. On 3rd and 1 from the Dallas 46, Matthew Stafford drops back and spots tight end Brandon Pettigrew streaking.
Unless you're wrong, I'll get that.
But before the ball arrives, Pettigrew is grabbed and spun around by linebacker Anthony Hitchens.
Clearly a pass interference.
A flag flies. It was clear as day. Defensive pass interference. But all of a sudden, the refs pick up the flag.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
Now, I wonder why, though.
Stafford throws his hands up in disbelief.
Holding him, he had a better view, angle.
Pettigrew said, I didn't get an explanation. It was ridiculous. He ran through me. Even Hitchens looked stunned. And if that wasn't enough, Des Bryant had sprinted onto the field without a helmet to argue the call. That should have been a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. No flag there either.
Man, so the referees just totally blew it. They totally blew it there.
Shanked 10-yarder gives Dallas perfect field position.
Talk about a momentum swing.
Takes advantage, driving the Cowboys downfield for the go-ahead touchdown. 24-20.
They mean so
Afterward,
much.
The NFL's own head of officiating, Dean Blandino, admitted Hitchens should have been flagged at least for defensive holding.
Well, I'll tell you, I watch a lot of football, see a lot of plays. To me, you can't pick that flag up.
I mean,
The Lions were done. The NFL's most cursed franchise had lost its chance at history because of a simple call. So you'd think that after that mess, the NFL would tighten things up, right? Well, a few years later, things got even more ridiculous. Because this time, the outcome of a game didn't come down to a replay or a flag. It came down to a ref holding a piece of paper. 2017. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys versus Raiders.
The index
Midway
card.
through the fourth quarter, tied at 17, Dallas lines up for 4th and 1. Dak Prescott sneaks it, driving into a pile of bodies.
They still can't today get these calls right, by the way.
These real close.
These
when
spots.
the sticks stretch, the ball looks short, and Raiders head coach Jack Del Rio starts signaling for the turnover on downs. Then referee Gene Steratore does something no one's ever seen before. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out an index card. He kneels, slides it between the nose of the football and the pole. There's a visible gap, air between the two. Yet after a pause,
the
Steratore
index
looks
card's
up
kind of
and
open a
signals
little bit.
first
The
down
beginning,
Dallas.
it's not even totally
Well,
flat.
here we are across the bay
And
from Silicon
it's not
Valley,
even hitting
the
the football.
high-tech capital of the world, and you got an index card that determines whether it's a first down or a fourth.
Del Rio couldn't believe it. Never seen air like that, and it somehow got turned into a first down.
And there's space
There was
still between the
air
ball.
between the ball and the stick. That's short. It goes the other way, period. Linebacker
And that's
Navarro
not
Bowman
even
backed him
totally
up.
flat,
There
the
was
index
still space
card.
between the ball and the stick. Even Cowboys head coach
Oh my
Jason
God.
Garrett was stunned. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen that one. They brought the card out, and we made it by the thickness of the card. And it was certainly a big play. That big play proved massive as the Cowboys marched downfield and kicked a game-winning field goal. After the game, the NFL confirmed Steratore hadn't broken any rules. Using an index card was unusual, but within guidelines.
He shouldn't have had an index card. He should have had a $20 bill, and when he was done, he should have put it in Jack Del Rio's pocket.
But fans, they were done watching games get decided by nonsense like this. And in Cleveland, that
This is
frustration
why
wouldn't just
certain
stay in the
fans think the
seats.
game is
It was
rigged.
about to rain
I don't
down
believe
from
in
it.
that. I
It's
don't
week
believe the
14
game
of
is
the 2001
scripted,
season.
but
the Cleveland Browns are 6-6 and fighting to
the
stay alive
NFL
in the
has
playoff
to be
race
better
and are
than this.
hosting
And
the
it's been going
Jacksonville
on for
Jaguars.
years.
Down 15-10 with just over a minute left, the Browns face 4th and 2 at the
Get it
Jags
right,
12.
man.
Tim Couch drops back, fires to Quincy Morgan.
Tim Couch.
Caught. The ball bobbles, but it's ruled complete. First down, Cleveland.
All right, that's, he looked like he dropped it, but
to hang on to the football. Still running. Gets the first down.
Couch hurries to the line and spikes it with 48 seconds
Okay.
left. Referee Terry McCauley's headset buzzes. The replay booth wants to review the previous play. The problem?
How?
That's not legal once another play's been run.
right.
Another play had already been won.
See, that's bullshit.
And how can you go
The
back?
play
two
was
plays?
ran
McCauley
already.
insists the signal came in time. The crowd grows restless as he jogs to the monitor.
No,
After a
no,
long
no.
delay, he returns and drops the bombshell.
No.
The catch is overturned. Turnover on
Wow.
downs. Jaguars ball.
After
See, that's-
review, the pass is incomplete.
That's bullshit.
First down.
Wow.
In the history of replay, Gus, once another play has been run, I have never seen
I mean, it
them go
definitely hit
back.
the ground, but it
Then
doesn't matter.
Chaos.
If they got
Fans
up to the
start
line and
launching
spiked the
beer
ball,
bottles,
that
cups,
is
trash,
done.
anything and
That is
everything
according
onto
to the
field.
NFL rules,
What
right?
the fans are upset with is the Browns were able to get to the line of scrimmage and run
Right.
another play. But
Right.
then the officials went back 2 plays and
Terrible.
made the ruling.
And even
Shouldn't
though
be
there
throwing
are still
shit at the
48
refs,
seconds
but-
left on the clock, the game was
I
declared
get the
over.
frustration,
As players
obviously.
fled to the tunnels
That's
under
terrible.
a storm of bottles.
And now they're going to call
That
the
is the
game.
end of the game.
Refs just want to get the hell out of there.
Now they call the game.
Well, that was the right
48 seconds
Yeah,
to
let's
go.
just get the
Then
fuck
the
out of
NFL
Cleveland.
calls. Commissioner Paul Tagliabue orders everyone back out
Oh,
to finish
lovely.
the game. 20 minutes
Get on,
later,
get back
both
out.
teams return. The Jags kneel twice, and the nightmare officially
Just for
ends.
that, I
Final
mean, come
score,
on, man.
15-10. The NFL's most loyal fan
brutal.
base, the Dog Pound, was once again met with the heartbreak of being a Browns fan. But even
That's
a team
brutal.
that usually benefits from the refs, like the Chiefs, aren't immune to the madness. Because in the 2018
Very
playoffs,
rare.
they were clinging to
They're
a lead
usually
against
on the
the
other
Tennessee
side of
Titans.
things. Let's
Midway
be
through
real.
the third quarter, Marcus Mariota drops back. Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson bursts through untouched and
I don't know if I
absolutely
remember
rebels
this.
him with a
I don't
hit
think
that
I recall
sends the
this.
ball loose. Kansas City pounces on
Okay,
it,
that's
and
a
Arrowhead
fumble.
explodes. At least until the refs say the play was dead before the fumble. Their reasoning? Forward
How?
progress stopped.
Oh,
Even the
that's
broadcast
terrible.
booth
What
is
a rock.
stopped. Forward progress?
He didn't
on a
even go
quarterback
for
sack?
They ruled Mariota
I got to
down.
see this. Let's see another angle if they show
on
one.
the way out. Forward progress was stopped.
The replay shows Mariota
That's-
never moving forward, just dropping back before getting driven.
Oh, that's
to the turf.
horrendous.
But by rule,
That's an
it wasn't
awful-
reviewable.
Forward progress has been established, and it is not challengeable.
Wow.
Titans kept
How
the
is that
ball.
not
Things only
challengeable?
got worse from there. Because with Tennessee up 22-21, Mariota is hit again, this time on a 2-point try. The ball pops loose, the Chiefs recover and take it to the house for what should have been a game-changing score.
Forward progress is stopped. The play is dead. The crowd thinks they've run it back.
Wow.
Then, yet
Twice
again,
in a
the whistle
same
blows
game?
early. Forward progress. That's twice. The same call and the
I
same
don't-
referee.
Now
Jeff
that
Trippett.
one,
I don't know how you can.
I can see the
call
argument
guys
if they're
down,
trying
blow
to
the whistle
protect
when
the
you hit
quarterback,
ground, especially on
maybe.
a sack.
After the game,
But the first
Andy
one-
Reid didn't hold
What?
back. Listen, I don't really have anything good to say there, so I'm just kind of going to stay
That
away
one,
from
if
any
they're trying to
comments from
save the
those
quarterback,
guys.
okay,
Reid
I
said about
guess.
the officials.
The first
Don't
one
get
was
fined
terrible.
or whatever. It's not worth it. It was, in the words of former NFL VP of officiating Mike Pereira, horrible.
calling forward progress on a quarterback sack where he just gets smacked and drops the ball. This was called forward progress. I've never seen that called forward progress.
To make things even stranger, though, reports came out the next day that Triplett, who hadn't called a playoff game in 3 years, was retiring immediately after this one. And the timing couldn't have felt worse. What should have been remembered as another epic Arrowhead playoff night instead became forever known as the forward progress game. A fumble that wasn't, a whistle that came too soon, and a season that ended from poor reffing. All it takes is one yellow flag, one whistle, one bad split-second decision from a referee to rewrite legacies, crush fan bases, and change NFL history forever. If you enjoy this video.
Oh, man, guys. Once again, these refs, get it right. With all the technology you got, and you're still getting calls wrong today. And you know, going into the 2026 season, we're still having issues. And there was one that's not on this list, which I feel probably should be, is the Bills-Broncos game last year. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That was a catch by Brandon Cooks. Okay? He had possession. His knee was down. The side of his body was down at one point with still possession. Then the defender had his hands on the ball when they kind of both hit the ground when he was sideways with it. But it doesn't matter at that point because possession goes to the receiver. That's the NFL rule book, right? Right. When they rolled around, when they spun around on the ground, is when the ball got taken away by the Bronco defender, and then they ruled it an interception. Terrible, terrible, awful call. I don't care what anyone says. And I've explained this over and over. When a football player, right, a receiver or tight end, whatever, whoever's getting the ball, let's say they're on the ground. Let's say they catch it, they dive, they're on the ground, they have possession, and they go to get back up. Once that player's touched, if his knee's still down, any part of his body's still down, the play is over. It's done. Right? That's one. So the play should have been over once the knee hit and he had possession. The play is done. It's over. Right? Just like, once again, if you go back, there was a play that Poyer made where the receiver went to go get up and Poyer punched the ball out and it was a fumble, but then it was ruled not a fumble because Poyer got there a hair too early and kind of, I think his foot hit his foot or something like that. So he was considered down by contact. So Cooks, for me, I had him down by contact initially when he had possession. It doesn't matter. And they were saying a football move. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That is a football move. You had possession. Your knee hit hit, and then your side of your body hit with a player on top of you. That is it. There is no more football motion. So the NFL referees absolutely blew that call. They didn't even go and look at it. They just called an interception and moved on, which made it even more crazier. And once again, man, I just want these guys, these refs, to get it right. Listen, I get that you're not going to get every single call right. I understand that. It's a human error. I get that. But my God, when you got all this technology, especially in important games, you got to get the call right. And they got to fix it. They got to figure it out because fans are starting to get really, really pissed. And that's when you got other people thinking the game is scripted now because of these outrageous no calls or calls that are happening on the field. Fix it, NFL. Please make this game better for us. That's all I want. Get it right. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that reaction video. I'm going to be doing more reactions on this channel for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed. Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul